Fam, the FBI is present, Sword is present. Nobody's gonna draw a weapon? Nobody's gonna fire a shot? Like, hey, I understand. I understand. Nobody can really mess with her. She can do whatever she wants. Like, she's one of the most powerful characters at this point after this show. Understandable. But man, somebody gotta yell, hey, stop, or something. Like, we not gonna make her pay no consequences? What's good, everybody? Here to talk to you today about the WandaVision finale. Let's get into it. This video is going to serve for not just my WandaVision series review, which will be non-spoilery on the front end, but also my finale review, which will be spoilery on the back end. So subscribe to the channel if you like that type of talk, if you like the spoiler chats and the discussions and all the different things that I do, and help me to keep growing the page. But let's get into the series overview first. So I would have to say episodes 1 through 3 were very, very rough for me. Just giving a look back in general, I feel like, I was very clear on my first video that I made about WandaVision. Episodes 1 and 2 were trash. Episode 3 kind of started turning the corner for me because we could see hints of things happening that made it appeal to like, yo, there's more going on here. And episode 4 to me is what really blew open the doors. With that being said, I have to say that episodes 4 through 7 are the rising action where like you're really getting all the backstory. You're really getting the meat and potatoes of what's going on in those first 3 episodes, as well as going forward, you get all the setup. This is where all the theories started being crafted about Ralph and Nightmare and just all these different names being thrown out there. You get the big cameo being teased and all this stuff. And all that stuff was being set up in episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7. For me, episodes 8 and 9 would have to be the climax of the series, as well as the falling action. Like, you get your epilogue as far as, who went where, what happened to all the different players in the game as far as WandaVision is concerned. Overall, I have to say it was a great series. It started off rocky for me, but I say I love it. I enjoyed it very, very much, and I would recommend it for anybody who wants to see an MCU show or just a good show in general about grief and dealing with pain and going through love and losing people and stuff like that. It was a very, very well done, well thought out show. Like, laid seeds and then paid those seeds off, grew them into fruition very well on WandaVision. But talking about that finale, let's get into the finale and what I liked and didn't like, and how did I feel about it overall. Overall, I have to say I loved the finale, but I won't say that I loved it unequivocally or unconditionally. I did have some issues. Let's break them down, starting with number 1. I absolutely love the presence of White Vision, but at the same time I do take issue with how he was kind of dismissed. Like, I'm mixed on it. So it made perfect sense to me that you would get rid of Vision, the smartest, most eloquent character in the MCU. You would get rid of him by using logic, right? And that made sense. It felt right, but at the same time it kind of felt like too easy. Not saying that it's something that was undeserved. Like, no, they broke it down and they went through the steps with the planks and the ships, and like they went through it really, really, really well, and made it make sense. But at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, so he's just gonna fly away and like we're not gonna know where he went and what he went do. Mid-credit scene, post-credit scene, nothing. I find that to be strange, but didn't break things for me. I was cool with it. Still kind of mixed on how you just kind of, you broke that logic down and he flew off and that was it. Great fight, but Number 2, I love that there was pain for Wanda. Like, as a character, she had to feel the pain of losing her kids and losing her husband and letting everybody go free and giving up this grasp on reality that she had. But at the same time, I'm kind of conflicted as to how well she processed it. Not saying that she didn't process it, but it's just unclear. As I watched the finale, I was thinking to myself, okay, at this point, I feel like she's processed well enough to where when she releases everything and her kids disappear and Vision disappears, it's gonna be fine. I felt that, but I don't know when that really happened. And maybe somebody else watched the episode a little more critically than me and took notes and stuff. Maybe you can pinpoint it, but for me, as I watched it, I just didn't know when that moment came where it was clear, okay, she's accepted, she's gonna have to lose everybody. But I did feel it was there. So, you know, I liked it, but mixed. Other things from the finale that are noteworthy and just, you know, worth mentioning. Number 3, Darcy just being there in the nick of time to hit the head of Sword and like pin him in. That's pure TV timing. A bit cliched, you know, that character you're not thinking about showing up in the nick of time. Like, yeah, that happens. I don't, you know, it didn't take away from the story for me. It didn't mess anything up. It was cool, you know. You found a way to bring Darcy back around, you know, being on the outskirts of town. And really, when I say outskirts of town, this episode showed you the scope of Westview. Like, I didn't really realize how big it was. So with Darcy being out where she was, it's kind of understandable with her showing up right in the nick of time when she did. So I'm not all the way mad at that. Monica Rambeau. I'm kind of mixed on Monica. And the reason why I am is because she was relatively useless. Like, she did this whole big championing for Wanda throughout the series. Like, she was riding hard for Wanda. And like, you get to the end, it's like, you really don't serve a purpose. Once these witches start throwing, you know, power balls at each other, it's like, what can you do to do anything? Like, she showed up and, you know, put her little powers on display, and it's cool. You know, I'm very much interested in where she goes, like her connection to the Skrulls and Captain Marvel. She'll probably pop up in the next Captain Marvel movie. It's great. It's all good. But I feel like her character was there mainly to, like, as the audience, kind of keep you on the side of Wanda, like ride for Wanda. And then at the same time, she's really there to just set up more properties down the road. So that's my position on her. Not a bad position, but that's my position on her. Number 5 for me would be seeing the Hex coming down. I feel like that was an incredibly emotional scene, like super emotional. I feel like it was well deserved emotion. I kind of wanted a little bit more from Wanda, but the thing that really meant a lot to me and like made that scene pop and stand out was that you got an android. Like, we always forget, we so into the characters, that Vision is not human. He is an android. He's a machine. You got an android to shed a tear, which, you know, is monumental. I loved everything Vision had to say toward the end. Like, he is such a well thought out, well spoken character. You know, Paul Bettany delivers those lines with such eloquence all the time. He does a great job of making you feel like, hey, you know, this is not really goodbye, this is just see you later. And again, Marvel does so well with their writing, like leaving it open for, hey, like Vision could pop back up and you could see Paul Bettany again easily, because he just said, like, we've said goodbye before, it stands to reason. And then she finished it off. It was beautiful. Seeing the Hex come down was great. Seeing them tuck the boys in bed, knowing, and her closing that door, it's like, that was really well done. That was some of the emotion that I wanted to see, and I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. My biggest issue, number 6, biggest issue with Wanda Vision, the finale, and the way it ended, was that Wanda, the character, just flew off and settled at a cabin in the woods in the hills of Sokovia, and she's just practicing in her magic book. Like, fam, the FBI is present, Sword is present, nobody's gonna draw a weapon, nobody's gonna fire a shot. Like, hey, I understand, nobody can really mess with her. She can do whatever she wants. Like, she's one of the most powerful characters at this point after this show. Understandable. But man, somebody gotta yell, hey, stop, something. Like, we not gonna make her pay no consequences? I understand she gave up her kids. I'm a father and a husband. Like, it would be hard for me to give up my kids and my wife, you know, to do the right thing by this town of people. It would be difficult. But that don't mean like I'm absolved of any trouble. Like, you held people hostage for 2 or 3 weeks. Like, fam, like, no consequences? Just fly off. We not gonna yell, hey, stop, we need to talk to you. None of that? That, and again, maybe that's me being too realistic, because I was thinking in terms of real life. Like, if Wanda was anybody else, you know, of a different shade of skin, it makes me wonder. Maybe I shouldn't keep that, but it's how I felt when I watched it. I was like, you just get to fly off, huh? Must be nice. Anyway, I like the show. I like the episode. That last part did stand out quite a bit to me and mess me up, but it was a good episode. It was a very good show. It's one that I plan on rewatching with the wife. I had to watch it all though, because I know how my wife is. Like, she wants to ask questions and what's gonna happen, why this is like that. It's like, just watch it. Now that I got that background on her, plus I discovered out of the blue, I discovered Marvel Legends. I'm like, oh my god, this is great. That's gonna help catch her up and give her some backstory. So anyway, I'm rambling. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, come back and see me for more videos. And Falcon and Winter Soldier coming soon. We're gonna be on here talking about it, so this is the place to come.